my question is, with the commitment to America and keeping our people safe, how do you plan to resolve this Biden border crisis and stop the fentanyl poisoning of America and hold our administration responsible for not keeping America safe, which is almost treasonous? Thank you.
Thank you, Sheriff. Sheriff, this is very personal to everybody across this country. I'll tell you exactly what happened in my hometown just a Friday ago in a junior high of 13 and 14-year-olds. One student brought 150 fentanyl pills, not designed as fentanyl, but another drug. A counselor finds it, pulls it out. The counselor does not take it, but because the counselor touches it, starts to OD. Has to be brought back and is in the hospital. This is how powerful this is. There's three-prong attack. We first have to be very clear. China, you stop poisoning us or we're coming to take it. Stop it up. You got to take care of the border. You got to do that. I want to bring in Tony Gonzalez. For every time you see the border down there and you see Eagle Pass, this is Tony Gonzalez's district. He's brought, I don't know how many Republican members down there. The president's been elected 40-some years, never been there. The vice president's supposed to be in charge. He goes far away. But he knows on the first hand what's happening down there. And we continue to fight. But I will promise you this. If we get the majority, we will secure this border.
Thank you, Leader, and thank you, Sheriff, for keeping us safe, all our law enforcement. I will tell you, House Republicans, we are committed to working alongside with our law enforcement to every American. Every American deserves a nation that is safe. Whether you're in Texas, whether you're in Pennsylvania, Florida, it doesn't matter. I mean, these are fundamental rights. I represent 42% of the southern border. A lot of my district's pretty rural. Most people had never heard of the towns that I represent until a year ago. Now everybody knows where Del Rio is when they saw these thousands of Haitians under a bridge. Now everybody knows where Eagle Pass is, where they see thousands of people coming over the water every day. I also represent Uvalde, and I'll talk a little bit about that as well. I will tell you, at the very beginning of this, everyone thought the Democrats didn't have a plan, right? How could they let this happen? Clearly, they have no plan other than whatever Trump did, we're going to do the opposite. That's what everyone thought originally. Oh, they do have a plan. And we are seeing exactly what that plan looks like. And it is tearing America apart. It is killing our kids. Doesn't matter the color of your skin. Doesn't matter if you're from a big city or a small town. None of that matters. It is killing our kids. It starts in China, makes its way through the Mexican cartels, and then it comes to our towns, our cities. So we know they have a plan. We know what the Democrats' plan looks like. What does our plan look like? House Republicans are committed to ending catch and release. This is critical. When someone comes over and there is no law enforcement, all it does is encourage more people to come over. We have to end catch and release. Another big part of this is technology. About 2 months ago, there were 53 migrants that were found cooked in the back of a trailer. That's in my district. That could have been prevented if there was technology at the border to identify these trucks. We're going to do those things. The other thing is this. People forget the House has the power of the purse. And it is time for the House to lead again. It is time for us to go, wait a second here. You will stop killing our kids. We are all committed to doing that. I want to bring Uvalde up before I turn it over. I had a horrific incident that occurred in Uvalde a couple months ago. I wish this upon no one. Our community has been turned upside down. It's been a few months. We're starting to heal together. Someone mentioned Friday night football. That was a big part of our healing a couple of weeks ago, just the community coming together. But imagine this. This is what is happening right now. To this day, we still have high-speed chases coming through our town. What does that mean? That means our schools go into lockdown. So imagine you just went through this horrific incident. You were either a student, you were a parent, you're someone in the community, and you get a text message on your phone that says, hey, our school is in lockdown. This is happening on our border every single day. That's why We have to secure the border. Enough is enough. Let's secure the southern border.
Thank you very much. Securing the border is one element, but this drug is everywhere. Congressman Brad Wenstrom served our country. He's a medical doctor, and he serves on Ways and Means and also on the Intel community. Sir?
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, Sheriff, so very much. You framed the issue so well, that the cancer that is upon our society today from the fentanyl, and let's face it, where is it coming from? It's coming from across our borders. And Tony, you did a great job of really summarizing what is taking place. And I'm from Ohio, and believe me, we're a border town too, just like you know you are here today. You know, as a soldier, you have to recognize your own vulnerabilities. And in America today, the vulnerability that we have in this particular issue are the policies from the Biden administration that has allowed our border to be so porous. Because if we don't respond to our vulnerabilities, our enemies are going to take advantage of it. And that is exactly what we see happening today. China is doing this so intentionally. They're the biggest player in this whole game. And recently I had the Chinese ambassador say he wanted to meet with me. And he was very upset that across America we're blaming China for so much of this problem. And I said, well, look, I know that you made some steps from no longer sending fentanyl directly to Americans across the country. But what you're doing now is you're sending the precursors, the ingredients that you need, to the cartels in Mexico, where they have well-educated chemists putting this fentanyl together and creating these drugs, creating these Skittles, and all of these things. So what happens at the border? You know, the cartels are winning every phase of this, right? Because they bring migrants across. They're paid for that. They're in such large numbers. It's a diversion for our Border Patrol, and it opens the opportunity for more drugs to come through. I will tell you, if you look at these members of Congress here, individually, we probably all have been to the border more than Joe Biden and Kamala Harris combined. We went down with the Doctors Caucus to really see and hear from the Border Patrol agents just how much of this they've been able to capture and what they estimate they haven't been able to capture. And look, this is one of the greatest tragedies going on in America today. If you look at the age group that's being so effective, this is the next generation, right? This is the generation that creates new businesses. This is the generation that goes to work every day, that drives the trucks, that produce the steel, that become doctors. Whatever the case may be, this is the generation that become soldiers, and we're losing them. And that's to our adversaries' delight, I am sure. So as we have engaged in this, as I said to the ambassador, I said, well, if that bothers you so much, why don't you do something about it? Because you may say those precursors are legal and you have the right to sell them, but maybe you would have a moral responsibility to track them, know where they're going, and I tell you what, the United States would be glad to help you with that, and we can engage with the Mexican government as well, and let's figure this out and stop it, nip it in the bud, and prevent this problem from even being a problem in the United States of America. One of the other things that I'm working on right now, and I know my colleagues here are on board with it, if you look at the definition of weapon of mass destruction, that's what this is. That's what this is. It fits the categories completely, and we're going to declare it as that and use every resource we possibly can to nip it in the bud.
We want our children to have a future, a safe future. Not a problem in the street, but do we have fentanyl killing 300 of our kids every single day? Why isn't that a crisis? Why isn't that the administration waking up? Because every day we bring it forth, and we will do that in the majority. We've got time for one more question.